Okay, welcome to the MUSOS podcast. This is Alex, I am Tom, and today we have Julie Clark.
Hi.
How are you going? Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, do you have a
Do you want to
question?
do one?
I haven't thought of one.
No, not me. Okay,
me.
so Julie, we are MUSOS. We like to find out about music, but we'll find about that in a minute. First up, what we want to know is, Julie Clark, how many balloons would it take to make a cat be able to fly?
How many balloons to make a cat fly?
Yeah.
I mean, probably not that many. Probably like 30.
Yeah.
30 to 40.
Should we go get some?
30 to 40?
Yeah, I feel really good about this.
But
Let's
you
make sure
have to
it's
do it-
just under so they don't float away.
Yeah, that's
but,
the thing.
yeah.
We don't want it excessive. We want them just
Just
to
like-
hover,
just hover.
gently hover.
Yeah.
Maybe like 25.
Yeah,
If we
you know?
pick a spot like this surrounded by the palm trees, at least it would get caught somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
not enough.
It's not enough. Maybe over there.
Do it in like a
It's a bit
forest
denser,
or something.
maybe. Yeah.
But we're back at Santa Monica.
Yeah.
We're still in the LA.
It's so nice down here. I love seeing everyone just, people behind some bikes.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's very distracting to do a pod here.
Right.
A little.
We
The
did one
people
other day.
watching.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
We did one down here recently with Colleen, and I spent the
okay.
time just watching people go by.
Yeah.
And it was good fun. It's one of my favorite things about being a musician is you're facing back towards everyone, so I get to watch everyone.
Yep. 100%.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
I often find the thing when I'm like playing, people they think that you can't hear them when you're playing because I guess
that's
the sound
so
is going one way.
true.
So you're on the stage and you're
It's
playing,
so
and they have the
funny.
conversations about you, and you're like, I can hear everything you're saying.
Because
Everything.
they don't understand what's facing them
They just
and like
think,
how loud it
yeah,
is versus
yeah,
what
but-
I'm hearing. Totally.
Yeah.
Because you're on the
100%.
back end of a speaker. You're not copying all
Yeah,
the
Yep.
yeah. And I
100%.
can hear
I've had
everything
those
they're saying,
moments.
and I'm like, yeah.
Good times.
Good
Yeah.
times. Very good times. So recently you were in Miami
Yes.
for Late Night Buzz.
Yes.
You had a show.
Tell us about Late Night Buzz first.
Sure. So Late Night Buzz is a streamer showcase. It started out as one big collab. I started playing at a coffee shop that was really close to my house in Orange County, and the owner told me that if I wanted to invite my friends to those gigs, I was welcome to, and it was like the start of it. And so the very first one was like, what are we doing? I don't know how to do sound. We were using their system, and it was just like very makeshift. And then the next one just kind of grew from there. And then the third one, the one in Miami, the first two were in Orange County. The third one, I think it's really begun to like take shape of like what I want it to be and like what other artists really like about it. And so we got a group together of like just me and my friends, and like it was good people. We had Raquel, Annelle, Carmela and Erica, and then Erica Nagashima, and then Magnificent. So that was the Miami crew, and had a really, really good time with it. So it was just a show that we put on Saturday. I was there for the full week recording and everything, but that show was really, really fun. And it's just like each one is like, okay, well, let's do all these more, like more and more people want them in their city, and like just gonna see what happens with it. So
yeah, we need Late Night Buzz Australia.
Yes.
one day, honestly, it won't even be that hard. I was actually thinking about it. I was like, it wouldn't be that hard. It would just be getting over there.
Yeah.
Because like I would just hit up all my musician friends and be like, okay, what do we need?
It's not
We
even
got
gear.
we got the stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just getting over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a goal. Like it's a goal of mine to get to Australia anyway.
100%.
So
It'd be easy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So we've said it to a lot of people who we've met, all the musicians we've met. It's not you don't really have to worry about much. We've got all the gear and we've got the contacts in order to get gigs. It's not a problem at all.
It's happening. I'm putting it out there, manifesting it right now. It's happening.
Yeah, and it'll be a draw for some of the venues. You get an international artist. Like, yeah.
Totally.
The Julie.
The Julie. It's just
just
not
Julie.
just Julie.
Right.
We
Well-
established this. It's not just Julie. It's Julie.
Just it's not just Julie.
It's just Julie.
Just Julie.
It's another word for just.
Only.
Only.
It's only
It's
Julie.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Only Julie.
Just gonna.
Don't worry about it.
Fine.
I like that.
But so in Miami, you were also recording.
Yeah. So I recorded my first single, which is almost finished. I'm going to do one more session in Miami to finish it, and then recorded a new piano piece of mine that. It's the first time I've ever recorded on an acoustic piano, which is funny that I own an acoustic piano. It was like the first time I've actually done it this way, but it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Unreal. Yeah. And that was Electric Air.
That was okay. Yeah, so that was at Electric Air Studios. This was recommended to me from Raquel, and it was with Daza. So he was a co-producer for Another Life, and which is the single. And then I recorded in his studio, recorded Dreamer, the piano piece, and it was honestly like a life-changing experience to just go in and like I did the demo myself, and I was like, it's terrible. Like he's gonna start over. He's gonna start from scratch.
He's gonna kick me out.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, I really didn't know what to think of it. He didn't take away anything from what I had produced. He only added to it and
That's
like
awesome.
helped
Yeah.
make it. So like it, my confidence, like helped bring out my confidence in like producing as well, and being able to kind of start with an idea and like not just kind of be on the back end doing vocals. Like I already have the vision for the idea and like creating that and like being more purposeful with my art. And then also just I will never like nothing will beat the experience of like playing my pieces on a real piano and like having that be I think it's a better sound, like it's more I'm able to put more emotion into it. Like it was really cool. So
that's awesome. And when's that coming out?
I do not know, but I very, very soon. I know I said that a lot with my music, but at least it's recorded. So it's actually happening.
Sounds like December 15th to me.
Yeah,
December 15th sounds great.
I don't know what
Actually,
day that is,
we do have the beginnings of a late night buzz right around there, so we could just do all of it
Nice.
all
Yeah,
at once.
Launch
So,
party on Late Night Buzz.
yes.
Yeah. I remember tuning in. I saw a bit of it. That was awesome.
It was
Because
cool.
the studio was live streamed.
It
Tuning in
looked-
to just watching the process on Twitch was
Well, that
so
was
cool.
and that was a separate thing. Like it's one thing to go into a studio and be like, let's record, let's make art, but to be able to show the stream, and Daza has a whole setup for that, and it was like a very quality stream, all the different angles and stuff. So that was a whole other thing. With that studio that I really liked, and that's one thing I'm going to be doing when I go back as well. Is just continuing that.
It shows not bravery, but kind of from yourself. Just like this is the creation of this, and I'm doing it live. Most people would do that very much behind closed doors.
Yeah. The
and going,
vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just showing that okay, this might not be the take.
Yeah. Oh
These
God.
next 5 might not be the next.
And you're really good at that. You've written songs
thank you.
on Twitch, live on Twitch.
So
as well.
a lot of my piano songs. So a bunch of the ones that I'll be coming out with, it's actually an album that I'm going to release one at a time because there are no rules, and why wouldn't I? And so each one of these, almost every single one was improv. Like it was an improv request that like turned into something that I liked, and then I'm constantly working on it. So it's cool because there are community members that got to see like the creation of the song, and then especially when I'm going into the studio to record, it's like you literally get to see every part of the process.
Yeah.
And then here's the song. It's out. To go stream. So it's cool because it's like I feel like everybody gets to it's like a more interactive way. It's more you're able to kind of engage and be there. Yeah, there's vulnerability. Like I remember doing Dreamer, and like a troll came in and was like, yeah, that like I was like, oh, that wasn't a good take, and a troll came in and was like, yeah, that was terrible, and I'm like thank you for the validation that take sucked. Thank you.
Exactly.
So there is kind of that, but it was like so much love too. Like it was like overwhelmingly good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
No,
'cause
that's awesome.
it's like a new sort of way of making things, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people are still scared of people stealing their
Truth.
work and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Someone's like, I've written this riff, but no one's going to hear it until I've got it down, recorded, because someone's going to steal it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you just can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So like, the most successful people at the moment are the people who are almost open to a fault.
Yeah.
And so having that where you're just like, oh, I'm just riffing on this. I kind of like this. Like Tom is doing the same. Tom is running production streams at the moment.
Totally.
And they're killer. They're so good. But the thing is, what's also with it is I can't wait for him to finish. There's one in particular, and I keep telling him about
Hell
it.
yeah.
But I can't wait for him to finish it. And I'm just like, we've been here for 2 weeks. I'm like, can you just go home and finish it,
Finish
please?
that off. Yeah, I do need to do that.
But
I
it
just
is-
want to listen to the song.
But I'm already attached to that song.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
not even finished.
Well, that's Twitch too, because
Yeah.
there's how many artists have songs that aren't even being recorded yet. The only place that you can go in and request that song, unless you're gonna watch the VOD or I don't know, rip the audio or do whatever you're gonna
Yeah.
do. Like people are. That is one thing is you run that risk of that happening with music. And when I first started, I got a little weirded out. I would show a new song, and I'd be like, oh, I'm probably not gonna keep that VOD, or I'm gonna unpublish that VOD. I don't do that anymore.
But the thing
I'm
is,
just like, can't.
because of the way everything is documented, then you've got no problem with copyright.
Exactly.
Because that it's attached to a you can show
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
It's
time.
better
You
to
can go
have
back.
it.
Yeah, it's
If
actually,
anything, doing it
Yeah.
live
It's-
with it being banked everywhere is like, well, I have proof that I wrote it first.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And however many people, 100, 200 people watched it happen. So,
Yeah.
So it's almost like,
Yeah,
like
kinda, it comes
do
around.
live,
but the
it's
first
better.
thing you think is,
Yeah.
oh no,
yeah.
You're
people
like,
are
I
gonna,
don't want someone to
but
take
that's
this.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
mine. But also, my problem is when I write it, I'm like, oh, this is someone else's.
yeah.
Ooh.
That's always
I'm
fun.
like, why am I playing
You
this?
start writing a song, and then you're like,
I'm so used to mashing up songs that I
Oh,
start
man.
just going into another
Yeah.
song. Every time I hear one, I just go into another song. And it's,
yeah.
So
Fair enough.
it's good and
with
bad.
That.
It's good for performance, but bad for writing.
It's hard because I've gotten in my head about, like, I have some piano songs that sound too much like other songs, but I swear it wasn't even in my head.
No.
Maybe I
Yeah.
hadn't even heard the song before, so I'm
Yeah.
like, this is unfair. But, like, I'll still be like, no, like, I'm not going to play the song on stream, or I don't feel the same about the song
Yeah.
now that I know that, because there is that fear and there is that reality too, that, like, you pick a chord progression sometimes and you have a melody
There's only a
that's super
set
similar.
amount. There's only a
There's
set
only so
amount.
many.
And that's the problem. Like every day, like we're sitting here right now, we're getting less and less options for songs as we're sitting here because people
Yeah.
are writing songs
People keep
right
writing.
now. What are we doing here?
Ah, damn you guys! Stop writing for 5
But
minutes.
we're writing songs right now. Like there's less, and then they're written, and then
Well, it's like
Yeah.
how many songs exist out there that two people haven't heard the other version that actually is very similar, and then you hear about, like, like big artists that have those moments of, like, nope, this sounds too much like
Yeah.
this, and they're comparing, and now you have to pay
Yeah,
whatever it is, and, like,
yeah.
it's a whole you could sue. Like, it's kind of a crazy thing to think about, but no matter what, like, there's just that truth that, like, you play a chord progression, and I could probably name so many songs to fit
Exactly.
in
and
that
that's
chord
it. I was
progression.
talking to Zane. It's like there's 12 notes. That's it.
That's it. That's,
That's
all
it.
you
There's
got.
only 12.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
What do you want to do with them?
but yeah, exactly.
Well, it's all math too, so when it
Yeah.
comes down to it, there's this many options and
Yeah.
then this
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
combinations and whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think that's also why it's so refreshing when you do hear like an artist who's just like, I've
Yeah,
never heard that. You know,
True.
which is really
True.
which is tricky, but
Yeah, but that comes down to production style, I think, as well.
yeah, I
Sure.
think that there's more things you can change in that, and voice styles and stuff
If
like that.
dynamics and things come
Yeah.
into play.
100%.
I love playing with dynamics. Dynamics are fun. I love letting just that's a gap, a silence,
Oh yeah.
because it screams louder than whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Just leave that moment, and if you just let it linger just a tiny bit longer, people are waiting for it, and they're like almost fall off
Yeah.
before it comes
Yeah.
in. I like
Yeah.
that.
Even just like I always think about, like, a bridge of a song. You can write a separate bridge, but if you take out a lot of the production, if you take out a lot of that's happening and sing the same chorus, a different emotion, you can evoke a different emotion
Yeah.
just from taking out all the drums, just
Yeah,
from taking it
yeah,
out
yeah,
and have
yeah.
it be lighter. Same lyrics. And you change a little bit of the melody, or even not, and there's just something about
Just-
the production
yeah.
really does go into it.
Yeah.
Dynamics absolutely play into it. For
With
sure.
this Milky Chance, one of my current favorite bands, they're very loop friendly. All the song, all the music is in the verses, and in the chorus, it's everything is pretty much pulled out except for one guitar. And
Wow.
they sing the chorus with the guitar, and then I was saying before, I've said it loads of times. It stops that issue of how do I get into the next verse, because all the music's come back in,
Yeah.
and you're already right. We're ready to go again for the verse. And it's almost the verse becomes the party rather than
Yeah,
the chorus, and the chorus becomes the sing along.
I
Everyone
love
gets
that.
involved with, and then the party again in the verse.
It's
really
interesting how everyone has their things. For some artists, like it's the voice that's recognizable, or for some artists, it's like the arrangement
Yeah, yeah.
style
Yeah.
that they do, which is like their thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely part of it. Is just finding your
Thing.
which thing you're going to lean into, because
Yeah,
it might
yeah,
be
yeah.
like the way you record, it might be the way you produce, it might be
But then you can flip flop them from EP,
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
whatever, and you can do that.
So you got 12 notes, but you've got like all the different ways to bend
Totally.
them.
yeah, so you should never copy anyone.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to.
Well, and the other thing too about, like, being an independent artist is you have the ability to just feel it out for every song, versus, like, no, this all needs to sound like this. And that's something, even as an independent artist, if you're going in a direction and it's working for you, that's like a conscious choice. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of beauty in being able to, like, change it up and make it whatever you want, and, like, kind of just the recognition, like, or just recognizing there are no rules really.
Yeah.
And, like, so what I'm feeling for a song, even for a genre of a song, or, like, what I want it to be, the length of it, all these things, like dynamics, all that, it really is like what feels right to you. What, when you're being creative, what
Yeah.
do you want it to be?
Because when you said you're doing an album for the piano pieces, that makes sense to do that. But what I find a lot of people don't want to release albums for just normal music. They just want to one out every 6 to 8 weeks or whatever it is, whatever their schedule is. And because it allows you to ebb and flow and change whatever you feel like, and it doesn't have to fit a piece of work.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to stick to this sort of idea across the board, and then people can. I'm going to throw a bit of a mix in for the third one. Blah blah blah. So being independent allows you to just do that.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, I think we're following like the trend, because you've got like the current medium, which is Spotify, best suits single
it does,
release.
Exactly.
And that's why we release songs that are this long, is because there used to be you could only fit 12 songs on a vinyl, and that's why albums are 12 songs, and it kind of just goes along like that. But yeah. But I wonder what the next one is, because TikTok has made things like it's about the hook, the really short bit.
Yeah.
And you hear songs blow up, and it's just because you know the song, and then you hear the full song, and then, oh my God, I haven't heard any of this. But I know
so
that little bit so well from TikTok, because it's just been used, and it's just like a one-liner. And I wonder if music will go like...
Yeah, some people are good at writing hooks. Yeah. It's almost like a jingle. Some people are really good at writing those, but the rest of the substance they don't have. When they'd rely on a room full of writers to fill out the rest of the song around that hook. Yeah, but then if they're doing it to like for TikTok, essentially, then they don't need the rest of the room.
I think that's the thing, is that these days the whole song doesn't have to be good, even if one little bit in it is just a crazy hook.
Yeah.
People use it on TikTok, and then that song is huge.
It can build up an artist in like a big way too, just from that, if you do it right. You know what I mean? So like as I sit here, like, oh, I really want to put more piano music on TikTok. I really like that idea. But like, I think about literally music that's in my song list right now that I heard it first from TikTok. And was like, dude, I need to go find that song. I love this little bit that I'm hearing over and over again, and it's only 30 seconds long or less or whatever. But it's pretty crazy.
Little bite-sized piece of music.
Tiny little bite-sized
I wonder where it'll go next. If it'll go longer, because the thing is with Spotify, you could put a 40-minute song up if you wanted to. People don't really do it, but
attention spans and such.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another thing with albums, is especially if someone's going into an album thinking it needs to be a style or like kind of a vibe. Trends change. How long did it take you to make the album? By the time you're putting it out, are you feeling like it doesn't keep up? And like I hate thinking about stuff like this. Like, first of all, but it's like that is something to consider. And then also, there's been so many things that I've read and seen where people are talking about how much music is out there, like how quickly now you can create and actually put out art. There's more independent artists than ever. You don't have to get picked up by a label to actually have a successful career doing this. So there's a lot of music in front of your face all the time. So shorter and shorter attention spans.
We could write a song today and have it up by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
It's true.
And that's because we got Tom with us. So.
It's true.
But like the short attention spans, that's why the single thing works.
Yeah.
But it's just, and there's something like, I think it's 40,000 songs go on Spotify every day.
Oh my God, which that is a crazy number.
It's crazy. 40,000 songs a day.
We could be one of those.
Yeah, totally.
it just shows how much is
Yeah. How much is out there.
But like surely like 30% of them are all the same. They must be.
I mean,
or at least like, I don't know, maybe 20% have like a really stock standard chord progression.
Right, like same.
Everything will be.
Samples.
It'll fit a bell curve, won't it?
Yeah.
So the quality will fit a bell curve. Yeah. There'll be ones that are on the floor. Someone's recorded with their phone and like kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, and then the middle will be very middle of the road songs, recorded averagely, produced averagely, like blah blah blah, and then you're gonna tail off to very few that are good. Oh, this is insane. Kind of level.
There's definitely people that are just putting bulk out, just doing heaps and heaps. But that's how you get something to stick to.
But that seems to be the culture of post all the time.
Yeah,
you've got to be always on someone's feed for whatever reason. That seems to be what everyone's pushing towards. You know, constantly posting, constantly being in
single.
By the time
single,
Instagram
one
post,
single's
Instagram
just
post.
going down, that's when you get the next one.
Constantly with all kinds of social media as well.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
like, that seems to be the model.
Well,
Whereas before it was, bang, here's an album, I'm touring for 2 years.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing is, like, I feel like being, like, the idea of being an independent artist in, like, years past what it is to what it is now, like, it used to be, like, it's still an uphill battle. It's just that it used to be that you could be undiscovered, like, completely, but have the talent and get picked up by, like, an agency or a label, and then, you know, get some kind of recording contract, something, and they'll build you up completely. But that's not the case anymore. If you want to be picked up by a label, you have to do all the stuff first. You already have to be big. Your music already has to be big. You have to be doing all the things that they would have normally provided for you. So then the only thing is, like the question is, what does a label provide you? And really, honestly, it's like Spotify, like, playlist. Placing you in the right playlist for your music to get really
Editorial.
big. And you're still, like, when you sign these contracts, it's a loan. Like, these are not, they're not giving you money.
Don't get anything, no.
People don't understand. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I get all this money from signing a record. And it's like, yeah, but you owe it all back.
You literally have to pay it back. I have friends that, I have a group of friends that, way back, this is like over 10 years ago, but they were in a boy band that got signed, and then something went down. I don't know the details, but they ended up going bankrupt. 18-year-old boys, a group of 18-year-old boys going bankrupt because they couldn't pay back the label.
I've met people like that, and people who just, like, they've got
That's
music they want
terrible.
to put out, but they can't do anything with it because they're stuck
Right.
in their contract, and they're
which is terrible. Oh, my God.
to be able to release something, because otherwise I'm just going to get
Lewis
screwed.
Watson, he streams on Twitch, but he's quite a kind of big indie folk player in the UK, and he was it last September he re-recorded his first album because it was 7 years past, so he could now redo it because he didn't like the way it sounded originally. So on Twitch he re-recorded the album how he wanted it to actually sound.
That's pretty
But
crazy.
but would that have also been, do you reckon, like, you know, Taylor Swift did that, and that was more of a contractual thing, because then he can put all
It was because he couldn't, he wasn't allowed to do it again. And then the contract ended at a 7-year point, and so he could go
did
again.
he take the other ones down?
I don't know.
Because that's interesting, because you can
For publishing, that's really interesting. To have, like, the same song, just a different version.
Because essentially then he could get the royalties fully from that music, rather than still be paying through the label.
Wow.
I don't know. I didn't delve that deep.
Because I guess if he
I
did
just
himself,
enjoyed watching
he'd own the masters. And
Right,
that's the
totally.
thing. And then, like, even the label often, like, give you the loan, which will pay back all the costs.
Yeah.
But then they'll still own
They
the
own your
actual
music.
thing.
Yeah, no.
They'll still own it after the 7 years.
Yeah.
It's it's not a great deal
No,
in
it's
a lot of situations, but it like for so many years that was like that's what you needed and that's what you wanted. You don't need that anymore.
No, you can go onto the internet, go to DistroKid, and get your music up by Friday.
Which is another reason why I think that the grind of, like, social media as an artist is just natural, because it's like I am my marketing person. I'm doing what a label in past years might do for me. I'm the one promoting. I'm growing everything myself. I'm putting my face and my music out there to as many people as possible. That's our job now.
It's actually
if we want
the
it to
amount
be.
of, like, hats you have to wear as an independent musician, graphic
All of them.
designer, you know,
I think
manager.
that's the other thing.
tour
Though, it's like
booker.
what people will see the appeal is then they have people to do things. But then also, so does everyone else they've signed. The same people that you have.
It's
it's
becoming
like, who
a
are they
smaller and smaller.
prioritizing?
They might have a few connections here, and they might be able to get you maybe I don't know, they might be able to get you a slot supporting someone at a festival because they own the other artist and they can do that, or whatever it is. But it's definitely becoming less and less and less.
It's not appealing to me at this point.
No.
Maybe at some point it will be, but, like, right now it's really not. So
No, because what they offer is so little in comparison. Because you already have to be established for them to maybe offer something worthwhile. You have to already be established, and then.
It used to be because, like, you couldn't get your music in a CD store without a label.
Yeah,
Because they have
totally.
to, like, they would manufacture the discs
And
and,
they
like,
also
sell them
control-
through distribution to the places. But now distribution is online.
Yep.
But they
And-
also control radio, and radio is not king anymore.
Yeah.
Totally. It's all changed so
all
much.
changed.
Like, this process has changed so much.
Which is why then we're having issues with Twitch and DMCAs because they're trying to claw back anything they possibly can.
Yeah, the labels are trying
to claw back anything they can.
Yeah, I love getting on Ultimate Guitar, and it's like all of a sudden this isn't. Yeah, they take stuff down, and I'm like, come on,
it's like,
come on,
really?
like this. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Learn this Beyonce song.
Yeah, it's
not allowed to.
Yeah, you can't learn this. But also then what you find is people have uploaded. If someone's uploaded a cover on Spotify of it, then they can have theirs, and that won't get taken down.
Which is so interesting.
So I've got like random people in my Ultimate Guitar playlist, and I have to just know the song that I'm looking for rather than the artist, because they're like, I've got Never Gonna Give You Up, Rick Astley. That's one that's been taken down, but I have the Foo Fighters cover of it.
Yeah, totally.
It's saved as the chords.
Yeah.
And so it's just like those kind of things.
Yeah.
Spotify confuses me sometimes versus YouTube, because on YouTube you're supposed to give the credit to like you can put in there if it's a cover, who was the original by. But if you're on Spotify, you're actually not supposed to do that. Even if it was a cover, you're not supposed to put their name in the song, because then if someone searches Drake, they might listen to your song instead of giving the royalties to that. So they don't want that, even though it's a cover. It's such a weird difference.
There's a weird way to, because that's all still quite new, I feel like, the covers on Spotify and stuff. I think they do I think there is a way to enter it through distributor, and then it goes into the credits.
Oh, so do they still get
cool.
credit?
On
That's
Spotify,
so interesting.
Yeah, have you ever done that on Spotify? So any song you're listening to, you can tap the dots, go down to show credits, and then you can see. Usually, you can see if it's independent or a label, because it will say. But you can also see the producer and like a few of the credits. A lot of people have it blank.
If you release a cover on Spotify, do you put in the credits who the original artist was?
I think, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know some of the distributors, like DistroKid and stuff, they have like a cover option that you can click, and then it gives you the title. Then you have to enter the songwriter.
Right.
Not the performer, because I think you become the performer. It's just the songwriter. And
but you're not supposed to put it in the name of the song at all.
No, not in the name of the song. It'll be your name with I think you can probably name it whatever you want, but then later you have to put the cover.
You still give the credit. Yeah.
And then if you do go into the credits, in Spotify, it should say songwriters. Under songwriters, you'll have like Frank Sinatra or whoever.
I don't think he wrote very much of his own.
No, I don't think he did.
No.
But if you go on Frank Sinatra's and then go songwriter credits, you'll find
there we go.
You find me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he wrote very much.
But covers. That's something I'd like to do a couple covers on Spotify.
Yeah, me too.
Just cause.
I think it's a good way to do it. It's a good way. Like it's nostalgic for people, so then you can still evoke that emotion. It doesn't have to be your own original music. Your take on a song. So many people love more. I have so many covers that I love more than the original. It's a good way to go for sure. And then I know there are so many artists that got well known from good covers, then they're like, here's my EP.
Is it Boyce Avenue? Is that what they're called?
Those guys? Boyce Avenue. The YouTube,
the YouTube guys,
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they just do covers, and he's got an insane voice, but they do they're great musicians as well, because their tune-ins and things are weird usually, and they do, and the production's great. And the film quality of all the clips is really good as well. But they've done it for years and years, and they tour doing covers and stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, touring doing covers,
like international tours as well.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
They're from the States, but they played in the UK. I know. I think they toured Europe as well.
Wow.
Just because they just had gained this huge YouTube following.
Wow.
But yeah, they're really good.
I've seen them. Yeah. Covers is definitely, it's all changing. Everything.
That's just all these different avenues to build yourself up as an artist and put out the music that you want to put out. But this is for me, that is kind of the difference. Is what it used to be was this one way. And I've talked to people. I've talked to people even recently. I remember talking to a guy who was like, well, if you're going to be an artist, you need to do this, this, and this. And he didn't know I was on Twitch. And so I was like, tell me more.
Tell me more.
As I'm sitting here, no, I think I want to put out an album and then see if I can fund some kind of tour and then go do, I'd just rather do this myself. I would rather see what I can accomplish. And also there's Twitch, because there's an amazing you have a fan base that actually cares. They love the kind of the vulnerability and the, the behind the scenes quality that they get from Twitch, and they support music. They support your music. It's it's like real fans, like the most beautiful kind of fans. They're clicking your links, like they're pre-saving your songs. They're going to your live shows. It's amazing.
Yeah, I always say, like with Twitch, it's crazy that you play a gig at a bar and people are there. Mm-hmm. They're just there most of the time. They're not, sometimes they're there to see you. Sometimes they're just at the bar and you're conveniently there. It's a mix. But on Twitch, they've clicked on you and they've decided not Netflix, not YouTube, not whatever. They've decided, they've made that choice to sit in your stream, and sometimes they chat, sometimes they don't, sometimes they're involved like financially, sometimes like whatever, but sometimes they aren't, but they're just hanging out. But you're the choice, which is
that's
crazy.
Beautiful.
And so that's a big fan, and so having that directly, working from home or from a studio or whatever, streaming that and giving people that immediate interaction constantly, you're just developing that huge sort of following and more of a relationship with someone, which you don't get unless because if you don't do that, then you have to be fully on all the other social media to try and have that interaction.
To try to make that happen,
but it's never
connection.
the same because you're not talking directly to them at any point during that, unless you're voice noting people. But,
totally.
Someone in chat being able to say hey to you and you're like, oh hey, how have you been, how's your dog, that kind of thing.
Totally.
Like there's that little bit more of an interaction, then you build more of a relationship with that fan, and then they become more of a super fan further down the road when things go off. Like they were there from day one. Like they've always supported you, and they'll scream your name from the rooftops because they've been there from the start.
Well, the level of engagement is high. Like for an artist, I can't think of a better way to be able to engage with your favorite artists, because it is so, like it is. You really do get to connect with them over music and just connect with them on a better level. It's also fulfilling, I think, as an artist. Like I took a break without really meaning to. I mean, I've done some streams, like I've done IRL streams and stuff, but I took basically a break from my normal Twitch stream this last month while I was in Miami. And then, we all did TwitchCon and we all were doing, there was a lot going on. But so my normal streams have been a little bit paused. And like, I had a lot of people that were like, I miss your streams because I used to just listen to the music and it was like relaxing. And like, it helped my life in this way. And I'm like, really? That's amazing. I'm like, that to me is like, it was a big reminder. I'm like, wow. So there are people that lurk that you don't even necessarily know of that are getting something out of my music. It's like, it's fulfilling for both of us. You know what I mean? Because I love that. It's a really good feeling. I don't need to be the biggest artist in the world. My music doesn't need to be everywhere in everyone's ears. I want it to be as big as possible. Yeah, I guess. But like, to have it be fulfilling, it doesn't need to be that. No. Like, there's so many people I'm able to connect with.
It's where you put the line of success. That's totally up to you. And if you start measuring on everyone else's lines, then that's when you get messed up.
Totally. 100%.
And we were saying to people before, I can't remember, it was recently, I can't remember what it was, but it was just like, just take a moment every now and again to celebrate a success, because otherwise you'll never feel like you've achieved something. And so when you release
before you get there, you've already processed it, and you're already pushing for the next one.
I feel like we've talked about this before. I do it without even thinking about it. And then I'm like, wait a second. So like, I already feel like I did accomplish this, but I haven't technically, and I'm already moved on to the next thing that I want to do.
What's the next thing?
It's that grind.
What's that called? Is there a name for that?
An unhealthy grind? I don't I don't really know.
I think you just need to like stop yourself every now and again and just go.
Just be grateful.
Just go, I did that. And just give yourself, like, reward yourself. It doesn't matter what it is.
Pat on the back.
If it's something small, something big, you just take yourself for a smoothie along the beach. Just to say, well done.
I think I think like writing down your goals like very clearly, and then like circling back, I don't know, maybe like a book or something where you've got it and you can actually tangibly see, wait a minute, last year I wanted to do this. And now look where I am. I've done all that, and I'm still looking for more things. Like just stopping and.
I mean, it's not a negative thing to want to grow and get better and do like things. Yeah, that's great. But it's like people, the culture is like it's always more, always bigger, always better. Yeah. And people just, I think you get into the depression because you don't ever get that reward of hitting the goal of reaching that peak, you're always just looking for the next one
until you die.
And so until you die.
And just like overwork yourself.
Exactly. I think people need to take a break every now and again. Just go, well done, me.
I'm nodding as if I do that and understand this fully, and I never do it.
No,
and it's so many months of this. It's been so many months of like, okay, I have a lot going on in this season, and like soon I'll take a break and slow down. But if you don't consciously make that happen, it doesn't happen. And that's where I'm at right now is like, how do I like accomplish everything that I want to, feel as fulfilled as I want to, but also not overwork myself to the point that like I'm not even enjoying it.
Yeah. I think the fulfillment is the stop point, the sort of turn around and go, oh, look at, like, we just walked from Santa Monica Pier. Like, look how far that is. Like, that kind of thing. I think that's when the fulfillment sort of comes in. Like, we've said to people during this trip, they're like, oh, what was your favorite thing? And like, I can't even think about any of it. It's too much in a short space of time. There's like snippets, but then I need to just like, give me a week when I'm back in Sydney, lying down, face down in my bed. Can't wait for that. But
I feel that.
And then I'll be able to go, oh wait, that was mad. That thing was so cool. Like, but you just without that stop. It's like COVID was really good for that. I think for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%.
The world stopped, and so people had to sort of just stop as well for a minute, which was.
And then we all started streaming music.
Yeah, and here we are.
Here we are.
And here we are
on a beach in Santa Monica.
But that's one thing that's nuts about Twitch is like, I started playing covers, mainly covers, and then started on Twitch, and all they want to hear is your music.
So
and I'm like, what?
True.
It's like,
yes.
You want that song again? And like and then I look at I've got my song list, and you can see what's played the most, and the first page is just all my songs.
Isn't it beautiful? It's like a freaking beautiful thing.
It's so nice.
Oh, I love it.
Screenshot that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. But like a year ago, I would be like, no, I would never have thought people.
Yeah.
It's like that song.
I only started releasing original music, because I was on Twitch and like wrote a song, and everyone was like, I love this song, please release it, I want to listen to it. They're requesting it all the time, and I'm like, I remember posting something that I've now I think I've archived, but I posted, I was like, I guess I should call myself an artist. I've never felt comfortable doing that. This is like 2.5 years ago. Like I don't know if I'm comfortable calling myself an artist. Like, I don't really have any music except for this one song, and like I'm just getting back into singing, like all these things. And now that's laughable, because I'm like, of course I'm an artist. Like, this is what I've been doing. It's funny.
Imposter?
Yeah, the imposter
situation. Everyone.
Everyone's an imposter.
Big
like,
time.
Me saying I'm a songwriter is an imposter. So
I've done it for every title I've had.
You're writing songs, so you're a songwriter.
I'm a performer. I'll accept that one.
Okay.
I'm an entertainer, all-around entertainer.
I was gonna say that's all of it for real.
That's all I do.
And that's part of the art. There's plenty of songwriters that are like, no, I'm not getting up and performing my songs.
Well, that's what we found when I was having conversations with the guys when we played the Untapped in San Diego, and speaking to quite a few, and a lot of them are like, oh yeah, I love writing, but I hate performing. And I'm like, give me the performance.
Wow.
Give it to me.
Okay.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than perform. And the ones I write, I don't write for myself. I find it hard to work out how I do them. So they don't fit for me. I hear someone else singing it when I do, kind of thing.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
And then that just like goes to show too, like you might have songs that you end up hearing your voice on, and then you may continue to write songs for other people. And there's a lot of sustainability in that if you do it correctly, especially when you think about like collaborations. Yeah. There will always be people that need writers. Yeah. And like it's scary. I get scared to just be a songwriter, because I've heard like so many horror stories, but if it's done right, songwriting is a beautiful thing on its own and can be very fulfilling. And even still, I would say, if you're continuously writing songs, I would think that some of them you're gonna hear your own voice on. You know what I mean?
Eventually, I guess.
Yeah.
Songwriter. The titles are funny. Like, you always, I still don't consider myself a guitarist.
I never do.
I really don't. But then
funny.
like a lot of people are like, oh, you have really good guitar, and I'm like, really? And then like last night I sat next to Zane.
Zane jamming.
And I was like, what is this piece of wood I'm holding?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't even know.
It was funny. The fear in Tom's eyes.
When Zane was like, let's have a jam.
Zane was playing.
And he's so nice and so chill.
Yeah.
Zane goes, I'll keep it in E. You just jam on E.
And I was like,
Tom to panic in his face.
I was just like, no, I was not.
Come on.
You
I had a little
killed it.
jam. I had a little jam.
You
I had a
did
little
well.
jam. I
You did
danced
well.
around
You
my little
genuinely
blues
did well.
scale.
I was
It
like
was not bad.
impressed. It was good.
At first, I was like, I'm just gonna play the root note.
Yeah,
Every now and then.
you did. But then you started
But then I was like,
relaxing. You're like, us.
I wasn't stressed. I just thought it was funny that
Your
I
eyes
was
were
like,
stressed.
I was just like, look, you could see.
Yeah.
He was like, just jam around this, and he started playing, and I was like,
Yeah.
and he was
no,
playing
he's
chords
really
and
good.
riffs, and everyone I was like, where do I
All
put
right,
where
all
does the- yeah,
Just fill in the blank spaces.
Oh,
but
there were no blank spaces.
never
There were no
blank.
blank spaces.
It was good.
That's
fun.
amazing. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Calling yourself a guitarist.
Guitarist.
That is.
Yeah,
difficult.
or even a singer, but like I like the in between. The like singer songwriter for me is like I'm like in that bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't say I'm a singer. I wouldn't say I'm a guitarist, but like I can play guitar, I can sing, I can write songs. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
in that singer songwriter.
Yeah.
I'll happily call myself a singer songwriter. Singer / songwriter.
And
Slash.
it's funny to hear you say singer-songwriter. Yeah, that's me. Because I write the songs, I do this. And you're over here, you're writing songs, you're singing, you're performing, and you're like, well, I'll take an entertainer.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
yeah.
nah, come on. Like, but again, imposter syndrome hits hard, and I also think that part of it, it's the process. Like, this is the process. At least it was for me, where it was like, it took me so long to kind of put out the music I wanted to put out, get to the point where I was doing it regularly. Even only lately have I been doing live gigs, and I'm like, so I guess I'm a gigging musician also. No, wait, no. I've just done a few gigs. I'm not a gigging musician.
One title. I can't have another one.
Yeah.
But it's like you were saying earlier. You wear so many hats, and
Yeah.
each of those is one of the hats. Like some of them are smaller hats,
yeah.
but some of them are
It's like a
sombreros.
babushka of hats.
Yeah.
It's just lots of little hats
and
inside
like-
bigger hats.
And
Amazing.
gigging musician, like a live musician, maybe a smaller hat for you right now, but it's got an elastic on it, and you can stretch
I
it.
love it. I love
But then
that.
so someone else will see you, and be like, oh, like your graphic design's really good, like.
Yeah,
And you be like, and a graphic designer,
yeah.
you're like,
'cause you have to
no,
do
like, what?
everything as a
This is
streamer.
not-
You have to do
Yeah.
a lot.
I love that
yeah.
though. I actually love doing that.
Yeah.
There was like something that I need to get better at, but like I'm in Canva right now, just like having way too much fun. I'm like, this is really cool. It's very user friendly for me, and so I'm just like, but it's funny to get into that aspect of me and be like, actually like this part. It takes a long time. It takes me a long time,
But it's
I know
just
exactly
it's
what you
another
mean.
creative avenue
Yes.
for
Yeah,
you.
it's like an outlet.
I say to Tom, it's the same. You can tell when I'm working on music and things, because my cooking is middle of the road. But if if I go wild with cooking and I'm doing all these dishes and trying new things, my music is on the back seat. So I use cooking as my alternative.
another way to be
outlet.
like, another way to be creative. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I do that all the time.
Which is really good. Someone was like, what else do you do to be, I remember someone asked me not that long ago, they were like, what else do you do to be creative besides music? I was like,
Canva.
but that's even for my music. So I'm like, I don't actually know. No, that's how I'm creative. This is how I express myself. But there's truth to like, there are these different avenues where like you can express yourself and be creative. And I still am kind of trying to get over that hump of like, can I monetize it? Or I get stuck in that and I don't want to, but like, it's that idea too of like, oh, I have this hobby. And like, oh, are you any good at it? You know what I mean? And then it's like, do I need to be good at it? It's a hobby.
Yeah. Whatever you want. He can paint as well.
Oh, not really.
I mean, you've done your.
That was just.
I
I kept like trying to find artists for artworks, and I was like, I could just have a go. And then I was like, oh, it's all right.
Oh,
But I'm also. I feel like part of that for me, like I'm very conscious of this, which I try to. So I think that there's a good side to it and there's a really bad side to it, which is pretty much being a control freak and wanting to control every
100%,
aspect of what you're doing. And I'm like, I wrote the song, I produced the song, I did the artwork, I did this. Everyone's like, that's amazing. And I'm like, well, that's not really. Because I can't, like, I find it hard to let go of my
anything.
art.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for the right thing, which it can be really good and, like, it can get me to a certain level. But sometimes in order to do, like, I can't paint an amazing artwork and make an amazing song. You can't do it all. No one can do it all. And if you look at, like, people who have the best music out there, they've got like a great producer, they've got this, they've got a great songwriter, they've got someone doing the artwork. Like one person can't do everything. So in order to like actually get to a higher level, you need to ask for help. And I'm not good at asking for help.
Well, you can do it.
No, thank you.
Okay.
You can do it yourself. I think I would say you can do it yourself. It's more like, do you want it? What level do you want it to be? What's the quality?
Yeah.
So if you take the things I'm really good at, that like, you say how many hours to be like a master at whatever thing. I don't have the hours to be like this level of mastery for all these things. I can do like this level right here, but like here's the thing that I can do really well that I have a lot of hours in. It's probably like composing and piano. Like I have just that many hours of it. Versus some of these other things that I want to get better at, that I'm really passionate about, but someone else could do it. Like someone who their mastery is like years just of production. That I will never, unless I stop what I'm doing now, I won't have the hours of the day to ever get to that level. Why not collab with them so that we come up with like a piece of art that we couldn't do alone?
It's a very good thing to know your lane, but not like a hard lane. Like just know this is the bit where I go fastest.
Yes,
this is where I go best, and being able to apply
that's what I'm telling myself. I'm like recognizing it. That's the I've solved it.
Yeah,
as long as I can recognize it, I should be able to like steer.
Yeah. Well, if you have the vision, for the graphics, it's really hard not to be like, shouldn't I just do it if I have the vision? But it's like, nah, maybe it should be someone who has years of experience doing that exact thing.
I think it's that there's that. Yeah, I'm sort of teetering on that line. Because I do like trying. I enjoyed painting. I was
going to say the other thing is like we both love a project.
Yeah,
and it could be anything. Like Tom's recently, he was building new speaker stands, like just going out and just doing something, like building something or taking something on. And so, like, you do like to go, I'm gonna do that on whatever it is. I'm gonna have a crack at it.
For me, a big part of that is because I've got the thing I need to do, which is my music, and then I can get the gratification of finishing something. So speaker stands, I'm like, I could go there, I could do this, I could build that, I could finish that today, and I'll feel like I've done something.
Yeah.
But if I sit around and like work on my music and distract myself and do this and that, so it's a little bit of that. I think that's why I love building things, because I love the like.
There's a beginning and an end.
There's like there's such a tangible.
It's done. There's the finish line.
I definitely struggle with that with the creative stuff.
Yeah, because we spoke about it on a previous pod. Writing a song, everything's done. It's not over. I've now you've got to plan the release.
So
you got blah 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 blah, and then even when it's release day, we're still going.
Yeah, oh my god,
it's
so much.
Like it does. There's no moment when it stops, and so that's hard.
And art is even just finishing the song. Art, I love this, love and hate this phrase. Like, art is never finished, only abandoned. At one point, you just have to stop and put out the music.
That's true. Sad but true.
It's so true. And so it's just like finished. You could scrap everything. You could change every single sample. You could do so much. And it's like, at one point, you just have to be like, all right, you're my baby, but I'm letting you go. Like, it's, it's
That's
hard.
what happened with the first song I put out.
Go find a job.
I put it out and I was like, it's not right there. But then eventually I forgot about the things that I didn't like in it, and then I heard it like a year later, and I was like, oh, that's all right. I quite like that. Like as its thing, it is how it is, and it's nice to like, I guess like giving yourself like restraints.
Yeah,
can
totally.
help, like you being like, I have to do it, like deadlines. You know,
totally.
Force yourself into something.
Just like that, and that's it. And like doing a song or doing something like I'm going to write a song while I'm away or something like that, gives you this thing that I feel like it makes it easier, at least for me, to say it's finished, because it was like, I didn't, but say I was like, I'm writing a song in LA and it's about LA.
Yeah.
Then once it's done, it's just done, because it's capturing that moment.
That's
so it's easy
that's
to kind
on
of
the same
like,
sort of process as the pop factories pumping out songs, where it's just song. It doesn't matter if it's terrible. It's Ed Sheeran that said in an interview, it's like turning on a tap in a with a new building, and it's like turn on the tap and all the muddy water comes through first.
Yeah,
it's coming through, and then we've got something clear. It's good. Now we're good.
Yeah.
Right. Let's bottle that up.
Yep.
And so you just got to keep pumping it out.
Pumping
it out.
That's what it feels like. How many artists do you know that like release a ridiculous, like big artists that you know that release a ridiculous amount of music? And I have my favorite songs, but I like I'll go back through Coldplay and be like, they have so many songs. It's a ridiculous amount of music. And I don't actually love and I'm obsessed with all of it.
No.
But there are those songs to me that, whether or not they're the most popular, a lot of them are.
Yeah.
But they're gems to me.
Yeah.
So but they're still pumping out all that music that maybe isn't very popular that you maybe haven't really heard.
Yeah.
From those and some of them are on the same albums as the gems that we all know and love.
Yeah. How good is it when you you go back or you've got a shuffle on Spotify and you're listening to it, you're like, what? I've never heard this, and it's like it came out 15 years ago, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Right. Well, now I'm a fan. I'm a little late.
Yeah, it was like the bonus track from their
it's like comes up somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like I never heard this one.
Yeah.
I had that with Kings of Leon recently. I was like, yes, I like this.
That's really cool.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like rediscovering an artist, but kind of not.
Definitely.
Just going back.
Well, have you ever done the one where you found out the artist had a band before?
Totally. Oh my god, the beginnings or the earlier stuff.
I used to listen to, this was the other way, but I used to listen to the last Shadow Puppets.
Okay.
Who the singer became Arctic Monkeys singer. What's his name?
Oh, okay.
Alex
Turner. And I never listened to Arctic Monkeys, but I used to always listen to Shadow Puppets ages ago when they did that thing. That might have actually been in between. It was in between.
There was Arctic Monkeys, then he did Shadow Puppets, and then
I was like, I love the Shadow Puppets, but why do they only have one album? These guys. And then I found out there's Arctic Monkeys. And I was
my God,
there we go.
Another project. Wow.
And there's heaps, and it's just
but no. No.
You don't like Shadow Puppets?
No, I don't like Arctic Monkeys. They've become more of Alex Turner's ego as they've gone on.
I haven't listened to that much of them, but
everything now, right? So all their clips now and everything are being filmed in a way they're really retro, because it's almost like trying to establish that they played in the 50s kind of thing, and the music style's gone to there as well now. It's going there, so it's almost like trying to establish the icon status, but by having these. Do you know how you watch an old clip of, say, Rolling Stones or Beatles,
they're
and it's like that kind of thing? You're just trying to grab that and be, this is us as well, kind of thing. And it really feels, and the music has changed so dramatically.
But they're still trying to hold on to that.
It's weird.
Or whatever. It's very
weird
interesting.
because they were so high energy at the start. Incredible musicians. They got one of the best drummers going around. But now they've got him just a hi-hat and kick and snare.
Oh wow! Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's what but you've got this drummer who is phenomenal in the band, and you've just restricted him for the singer.
I always wonder that. You never know what goes in the band. Maybe they're just I'm sick of playing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe the drummer's like, my back hurts, man. Give me an easy
ride.
4 on the floor.
But it's not even 4 on the floor. That's the thing. It's less than that.
Yeah.
But no, that's just my opinion. It's not just my opinion.
I don't follow
a lot of my
any. I
friends
just
have the same
listen to a few of their
opinion.
songs, but I just like the style that they had.
They had the first album was great.
I haven't
The
listened to
second
new
album
stuff.
was very good, and then it's just every album. I feel it just falls down. It's coming down the staircase, and it's just getting worse.
Well, it's interesting to see the evolution of artists, especially when it comes to side projects and stuff. Where it's I really liked, like you were saying, this album, but it was a different project, a different band, different sound, and you're you might think, oh, I love everything this artist puts out. It's all gold. And then you do listen to that, and you don't connect with it in the same way. And it's not nostalgic to you. And that's a lot of our music is you almost want to do your sophomore album or whatever kind of similar because people want the nostalgia of how they felt during your first album. But if you yourself have grown out of that genre, there's going to be a lot of people that are whoa. This is what made me fall in love with your music. And it's finding that balance because I can say all I want. I don't really care what other people think about music, but I literally do because they're the ones buying the albums and going to the shows or whatever. So it does matter how it's received.
No, for sure.
And so it's finding that balance of me being my authentic self. Maybe I put out a rock album one time, and people love that album, and then I'm like, no, this next one's gonna be more R&B vibes. This next one's gonna be electronic. There's gonna be those people that are absolutely not. This is what made me fall in love with your. Yeah, right, right, totally.
I know, I remember previously Taking Back Sunday were labeled as a band who released the same album 3 times but in different genres, essentially.
Oh wow,
like
that's interesting.
Was similar, kind of the same sort of thing. Yeah. It wasn't literally that, but that's what people said about it. Like they were very similar songs, but in very different styles.
Yeah, that's cool. Like to play around. I think also like between albums, as the customer or the listener, you just get the album. You don't get whatever's happened in their lives between the next one. And then by that time, they put up the next thing. And I guess with movies, it's all the same. Everyone's expectations are so high these days, especially when you release something. People like, if it's not better, if like or just the same, then it's like the worst thing ever. Yeah. When bands sort of change and they sort of come round.
But I've spoken about this on the pod where there's the idea of when you get to a point, when you get big enough, the better artists like a Coldplay, like an Ed Sheeran, they manage it, and so they will intentionally do an artistic album.
Yeah, totally.
So Ed Sheeran did his the collaborative album with a lot of hip hop and R&B on there, which was way lower than the other ones, just so he could go again. Because you need that down to go up. You can't keep going up. And Coldplay did it. They released I can't remember which album it was, but it was like really stripped back, nothing like normal Coldplay, and it was just so that they could manage the climb.
But it's hard though, because that's just another thing you got to think about. That's business mentality.
But it's very much business mentality.
That's not just like, hey, I wrote
the artistry,
this.
like oh my god.
But all they've done is push, like with Coldplay, they just put songs that weren't right at the time in the back pocket.
Yeah.
And then found a bunch of them that were
I wonder how much
center.
I wonder how much of that is the band being like this and this and this, or they're just doing the artistry and their team have been like, we've seen this.
That's what I wonder always. That's what I always wonder.
Some of them are very business savvy and are across that sort of thing and notice those trends.
Yeah.
And see that, look, we can't keep going, but it depends because ego plays into it. As well, because if you don't want to take a worse hit on the next song or the next album, you're going to try and make this one even bigger than the last, and you're going to, like, Adele's next album can't go bigger. There's no room to go bigger. She needs to do something weird and different. In theory, maybe I'm wrong, but her 3 albums, she said she'd do a trilogy and call it a day. Whether or not she does, it can't go bigger than the last one. So, what?
Well, it's such an interesting concept because, like, I can't wrap my head around it. Like, I'm over here, like, thinking in terms of my own music where, like, people were like, Julie, you should not release an 8-minute long song. And I'm like, I can't cut a single second of it, so I have an 8-minute long song. And I'm like, I know that wasn't even good for Spotify's algorithm. It's not good.
Doesn't matter.
I couldn't not. And I'm like, probably should make a little bit more of those business decisions, but like what I'm feeling about the music itself is like really important, and so it's
and I think that comes through too. Like the thing that'll come through, like you've got to people want it to come from the artist as well. They don't want it to be too sold
or like commercialized, or just even like, well, this is because like that idea of like where you talked about Adele, I'm like, dang, does Adele like write with that in mind, or is this like after the fact and she's got a bunch of songs? Like that's such an interesting idea to where she'd write the music that made a lot of sense, like, or that was really emotional to her, and then maybe that's in the production standpoint when you're going in to record and whatever. It's more like, okay, maybe this can be more artistic. But I have to think that when there's writing involved with an artist, and I know there's collaborators and like co-writes and all that. But I would think that a lot of it would also have to do, like, she's writing about things that are happening in her life, too. So it's always going to be this thing where, like, her super fans are just going to love whatever she puts out, and they're just going to love the story behind it. And then there's going to be people who are listening to the music production side of it and see how it fits in with the rest of her discography. But, like, to me, I'm like, how do I bridge that gap? Because that's so interesting to think about the business side of it, how it's doing in relation to your other music, and then just, like, the music that I write in the moment when I'm feeling something and I'm just writing it down. I'm like, that's
because something's got to take the lead.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like really good to talk about this, but we're just piling on more things we all need to think about.
Yeah. Well, this is what we think about. This is the independent artist, you know, I guess process and struggle, and just like even recognizing it on whatever level it is, whether we're sitting on Twitch with our, fans that love every moment of what we're giving them, to like artists that are trying to tour and have to think have a team of people whose job it is to really think about this.
Do that.
And there's, like I said, there's a lot to kind of like these gaps. Like I kind of see like, do you want to focus on this? Do you want to focus on this? Like what do you want your art to do? Probably answers a lot of those questions. Like what do you want out of your art? Like do you want it to be the biggest, get it in everybody's ears? You might give up something creatively to do that. And play the game.
Yeah.
So.
How much of the game do you play? That's the question.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, Tom.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
This is chat.
This is beautiful.
It's been a great chat.
There's been a really good chat.
This green screen is really great. You guys did a great job.
Very expensive. Very expensive. No, it's actually actors. We've
hired everyone in the background.
It's 3D actually in here.
But thank you so much. That was a good chat. We did a lot of music in that chat, which is unlike us.
Where can people find you?
Instagram. Well, okay. So on Twitch, obviously, twitch.tv/Julie, and then maybe like Spotify. If you search Julie Clark Music, you will find me. And then Instagram, Julie Clark Music. Same thing with Twitter. But I always talk about Twitch. I can't help but go back to it. Like, come say hi on Twitch. At least that one you can come and jam and connect.
Have a chat.
So
Yeah, here's some music.
Beautiful. And we are MUSOS. MUSOS podcast everywhere.
Yes.
That's us.
Yes. And we got a flight to catch.
We got a flight to catch.
Oh my God.
Sayonara, LA.
Thank you for listening to the MUSOS podcast. If you would like to see some bonus content and some extra stuff, you could consider subscribing to our Patreon, which is the best way to support the podcast. We've got a few different tiers, and we've currently got a few patrons. Patrons? Yes, patrons. Absolute legends helping us out to get this whole thing going. And yeah, you can also follow us on all our socials, and we will catch you next week for the next episode. Thank you very much. Goodbye.